Hey guys, it is Author Talicia Smith here for a Talk Tuesday. And I tell you, there's been so much going on today, but I just want to come on quickly just to discuss with you God delays. Delays that God allows or that God causes. And so yesterday, let me back up. This morning, I was supposed to fly out for a trip. So yesterday I was preparing to drive. I was going to stay overnight to be able to board the airplane. And early in the morning, we had to be to the airport like at 4 a.m. And so I was going to drive out of town to stay the night so that I could be up and about and ready to be at the airport on time because the airport was a little bit of ways from my house. And so I was supposed to be going on this amazing trip that I believe the Lord had blessed me to be a part of. And so as we're getting ready, I start getting texts that there is a situation and that the trip might be canceled. So if I back up, this trip is a trip for educators in North Carolina. And, you know, by trade, I'm an educator. And so when I had seen it, I didn't apply, even though I really, really wanted to go because it just seemed like too many things were going on in my life. Too many things were going on in my family. And so I was like, well, now is not the time. The timing's not right. And so as I'm looking at the deadline to send the information, I just kind of bowed my head and I said, Lord, I'd really like to take this trip. I'd really like to go experience Yellowstone National Park as an educator with this group of amazing teachers from across the state. And I just, you know, at some point, I'd really like to be able to go to Yellowstone. I may not be able to go now, but I really want to go at some point. So I finished praying, and about 3 days later, I get a message, hey, because you were on one of the institutes last summer, if you want to go to Yellowstone, you can go. So I quickly put my information in. I tell my husband to pray. This is the opportunity that's come up. And I get an email back that they had 36 people reply, and they could only choose 2 more to go. And my name was on the list. And so I'm like, this is a God thing. God is honoring my request to want to go to Yellowstone. So start making preparations. And again, as of yesterday, I was supposed to be headed out to stay at the hotel, to get up in the morning, to be at the airport. And we start getting these messages that the trip might be canceled and we might need to do some other things. And so if you've been watching the news, you have seen that Yellowstone National Park is completely flooded. And the highway that leads into Yellowstone National Park is the highway that the group and I would have taken in to get to Yellowstone. And I just started thinking about simple prayers. So the morning I was getting ready to go to stay the night to prepare for my trip, I remember waking up that morning and just praying that the right people would be on the trip, that God would bless our journey. I remember praying that if there was any danger ahead of us or anything that was to come, natural disaster or otherwise, that God would move it out the way so that we could have this amazing trip. And so, but now I'm looking at this text that's like, hey, we may have to cancel. And I'm feeling a little disappointed because I was really wanting to go to Yellowstone. But then as I begin to get pictures and news reports of what was happening in the area, I was made aware of God's divine provision, that it was a God delay. And I just begin to think about how many times does God delay? And instead of us realizing that he's protecting us, we get angry, we get defensive, we get impatient like Abraham and Sarah. Tell you what, you're not going to give me a baby. We're going to fix this. Here's my hand servant, right? We're just go lie with her so we can have a child. You know, Abraham, go get your baby, you know, through the maid servant or whatever. And so how many times do we get impatient and we are frustrated, if we're honest with God, because he delays a thing? And, you know, he was just showing me, just even in this instance, and all night it was just on my mind as I watched pictures and things that sometimes a delay is a blessing. It's not a denial. I believe that I'll get to go to Yellowstone again later. They're setting up this institute to be able to go at a different time if the Lord allows it. But I just begin to think about the times that God delays. It's a God delay. It's not a hindrance. It's not the enemy working against us. It is a God delay to put us in the ark of safety. It's a God delay to provide a larger blessing. It's a God delay so that what we've prayed for will be answered as he works on people and places and things and circumstances. And so instead of being frustrated, I want to encourage you today, if you're in a God delay, to rejoice. You asked for a husband, he hadn't shown up. Give God glory. You're waiting on a baby that you don't carry yet in your womb. Give God the glory. He is working on it. There's a delay for a purpose. Do I understand it all? No. But I just begin to think of so many times. I think of Lazarus, and when he died, you know, they cried out, God, if you hadn't been here, if you were present, this wouldn't have happened. But God said he wanted them to see him in a different way. They knew that God was a healer. God wanted them to see that he not only could heal, but he could raise the dead. He could bring life from dead situations. And so today, if you are in a God delay, if God is delaying something, God's delaying something that you've desired, hold on and be encouraged. And just as we end, you know, these Talk Tuesdays are about me sharing what's going on in my life to encourage you in your life and just show you how God's working for me and to give you hope and faith to believe in him. And so some of you may not know, but I had been applying for some assistant principal positions in my area. And I had actually gone to many, many interviews, and everything just kept falling through. And so there was a position last summer that came up that gave me the opportunity to help teach other teachers my passion for teaching science. And I went and did the interview. They even gave me the position. And then the county came back and says, oh, wait, position is to help 4th and 5th grade teachers, but you're certified as a middle school teacher, so you can't take the position. And I was discouraged. The position was something I really wanted to do. The position came with some increase. And so I was like, oh, my goodness. So I'm still going about my journey of this and the things that I wanted to pursue. And there was just a delay. And I just said to God one day, I'll do what you want me to do. I'll be where you want me to be, when you want me to be there. And so I just kind of trust you with this process. It's not going the way I think it would, but I trust you with this process. So long story short, the exact position opened up in the school that I'm in now that I have a heart for, with students and teachers and faculty that I love. And it's going to give me the ability to impact them. But it was a delay, and it wasn't a little delay. It's been like a 2-year delay, you know? And so I just thank God that in his delays, there is a divine assignment. So don't be discouraged today. If you're in a season of waiting, or if you're in a delay, just know that God's got a plan. It's for your good. It's for your protection. It's for his will to be done. It's to bring you increase. It's to bring you joy. It's to give you the desires of your heart. It's a God delay, and it's okay. I'm Author Talicia Smith, and thank you for joining me on this Talk Tuesday. Blessings until we meet again.